So I was about ready to hop on the attack against Gregor Robertson, who's far more handsome at 60 than anyone should be, because he said housing prices shouldn't come down. And realistically, I can understand why everyone was really quick to jump down his throat, or put anything down his throat. The clip is really hard to listen to because apparently nobody at Global News decided to click a couple settings in Final Cut Pro to remove the background noise. Seriously, guys, it's just 3 clicks to get rid of all that background noise. So, he's asked a number of questions, including one where a reporter asks him if housing prices should come down. He does say no, so I do want to acknowledge that. However, it's pretty clear that he's doing that thing where people say no at the start of an answer because they're trying to stop your line of thought and reframe it, which can work really well in a customer service setting or in a one-on-one setting. It doesn't work so great when a reporter asks you something where the answer everyone expects you to say is yes. However, if you listen to the rest of his answer to the question, it's pretty clear that he understands that housing in Canada is unaffordable, largely due to the fact that we have such little entry-level housing. So it feels like he's scared of answering a question that isn't being asked, which is, should people who are thinking of selling their homes, should they lose money? Because in politics, telling people that the assets that they have now should depreciate, whether or not it's true, invariably starts a shitstorm. Realistically, if the Liberals do their job, a lot of smaller bungalows, side by sides, and those kinds of houses should come down in price. But a lot of larger houses that the federal government probably won't be trying to build anything to compete with probably won't go down in price nearly as fast. So look, honestly, I saw a few people cover this, and I plan on roasting the guy. And I will if the Liberals do not start delivering on these promises of making housing affordable. And, by the way, they could engender a lot of goodwill by having the entire caucus decide to divest of all residential housing investments that they have, which obviously they're not going to do. But maybe think about it. Maybe people would trust you if you weren't profiting from the system that's fucking over the rest of us. Anyway, I'm going to play the full clip with the background noise removed, which makes it easier to pay attention to what he is saying. And to be clear, there are better, more radical approaches that could be done. The Liberals could be announcing a 10% tax on the value of any empty residential property that is not currently up for sale. They could announce an annually increasing tax on all residential single-family units that do not have renters in them, and make it clear that after any renters that are in them move out, the tax then goes in place even if they decide to start renting it out to someone else. Because we need to find solutions that push people, and especially investment firms, out of owning single family homes. But his answer isn't as bad as people were making it out to be. It could have been better, especially if he would have answered the question that was being asked rather than one that he thought should be being asked. But it's not as bad as people made it out to be. Here's the clip.
Mr. Robertson, housing prices in Vancouver went up while you were mayor. I want to ask you, why do you feel like you have the skills necessary to do this? What you saw a 179% increase in Vancouver housing prices.
Yeah, we've seen increases like that across Canada over the past decade. Certainly since my time as mayor, we've seen a lot more movement here in Ottawa, and we've got great programs starting to work now. Housing Accelerator program is partnering with cities to deliver. I'm here to leverage my history as a mayor. I know what works on the ground. I wasn't getting the help I needed from the federal government when I was mayor, or the provincial government of all stripes. We need, as a government in Ottawa, to be delivering and partnering with cities and provinces all together, and making sure we're building enough supply, and that the federal government is focused on affordable housing, delivering that. Now, I think that we need to deliver more supply, make sure the market is stable. It's a huge part of our economy. We need to be delivering more affordable housing. The Government of Canada has not been building affordable housing since the 90s. And we've created a huge shortage across Canada. That's where the big need is right now, and I'm very encouraged that the Prime Minister and our commitment right now in government is to double construction and focus on the affordable side.
Do you think those pledges are to double construction?
It's very ambitious. It's going to take us years to really scale up. We're going to have to leverage Canadian technology with offsite manufacturing. We got a lot of work to do on this, and it doesn't happen overnight. Housing is a slow-moving creature, and we got to do everything we can to speed it up.